Wait just a second. I've got some bad news for you. You thought you were going to hear the Joe Cronin Show, but guess what? You are, because it is the Joe Cronin Show, and this is the state of the WWE. What's up, everybody? Oh, my goodness. This is episode number 22 of State of the WWE. I am joined this time by, of course, Chris Tosevich, as always.
What's up?
And also by JARren.
Clitoris.
Clitoris? Here you go. Here's the hook. Here's the hook. Ha, ha. Come on and play it! All right, I lost my mind. Anyway, this is State of the WWE. We're talking wrestling. We're talking everything. The Ultimate Warrior, of course, has passed away, which is still ridiculously shocking. So shocking that I can ignore it for the few minutes time being. He's gone. It's crazy. The Undertaker's streak is gone. Obviously, one is a little bit more important than the other, but there are... that's how much the streak is valued, that I'm putting it up against the Warrior's death. You know what I mean?
Still shocking, either way. I mean, yeah, not as tragic, of course, but just as shocking.
I think the problem is with the Warriors, like, I'm still able to just mess around. Like, yesterday I was kind of in a coma, but today I'm just kind of playing, like, laughing about everything. But because it just doesn't seem like it really happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is gonna be a hell of a video where we're just gonna shoot the shit about all kinds of stuff. Steve Wilton of Warrior Entertainment issued a statement about the Ultimate Warrior, which was basically a statement that was like, I'm fucking out of a job, guys. Triple H talked to ESPN about the Warrior's death. And what was it, Nancy Grace?
Nancy Grace.
Nancy Grace. What did she have to say about the Warrior?
Extraordinaire.
She wanted to pry that steroid talk out of everybody today to capitalize on it for her stupid ratings and for her TV fame, just like the sports coma doesn't have a problem monetizing all those videos about somebody being dead. Well, I think Nancy Grace is a cunt. How about that, Nancy? You're a cunt. Why don't you interview me? I'll slap the shit out of you. Because you're not really... When I pull that dress up, there's a dick there, I bet. That's right, Nancy.
She doesn't wear a dress. She wears a pantsuit.
Yeah, she wears a pantsuit, Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace. Grace. You didn't have Grace in your name. Should be fucking Nancy Cunt. That should be your name. How about that?
Power suit.
How about that? How about Devil Walrus? How about that? How about Succubus Whore? How about that, Nancy? CNN. Bunch of freaking ass hats. They're all jerking off. When that kid came out that stabbed all those kids in Pennsylvania today, the reporters just jerking off. Oh, they're shooting loads all over their cameras, all over the ground, all over the floor, and then they were making their producer bend over and lick it up and then spit it back in their mouth so they're going to keep enjoying it. If only it had been guns. If it had been guns, they really would have lost their mind. Oh, my God. So
her uterine lining looks like the elevator from The Shining.
Did you know that was going to rhyme? Wow. Bret Hart also commented on the Ultimate Warrior. WWE Hall of Fame Bret Hart spoke with CJAY92 in Calgary this morning. No one knows what that is unless you're in Calgary, I suppose. He seemed good. He seemed happy for sure. I had a sense his health wasn't great. He seemed a little frail. He seemed a little less indestructible than he used to be. Bret also commented on Warrior's use of steroids over the years. I don't think it would be a surprise to know he took steroids for a long time, and I don't know if he ever stopped. That would be very interesting. We said it more graceful than Nancy Grace, though, so he gets a pass.
Well, that's different. Bret was saying this guy took steroids. She's trying to bring up the whole, if WWE makes you take steroids, which couldn't be more antiquated.
Right. All right. So Daniel Bryan is the WWE champion. How long is this going to last, man? I think, like I said, he should go on a run and just start defeating people left and right and make that belt look really big.
Yeah, he needs to stop looking like an underdog now that he's not an underdog anymore.
Yeah, I hope they separate him from that. And I don't know, I feel like we need to see The Undertaker soon. I feel like he can't just go away for a year and we'll wonder until next year. I feel like he's got to have a farewell type of deal.
Especially if he doesn't want the streak to overshadow his career, well, then he needs to come back and remind everyone of his career outside of the streak.
I have the perfect way for the Undertaker to leave the ring. There's a casket outside the ring. And when he finally leaves the ring and says goodbye or whatever it is, he just gets in the casket. And the Druids carry the casket or wheel the casket up the ramp.
He gets in sitting up and then does the opposite of a sit-up and just lies down.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be good. And then they just bring him up the ramp. That's it.
And then lightning hits the casket and it sets on fire.
And then it gets then it goes sets on fire.
Then they bring out the entire locker room to dig a hole, and then they bury him, and then they have just Triple H. Triple H put all the dirt on top.
And just because before they finish burying all the dirt, they throw JBL in too.
Yeah. Why not?
All right. JBL's like, oh, look at that. Isn't that... Oh! There he goes.
He's looking at R-Truth and Mark Henry saying, I gotta get me one of those!
I was just gonna say, and then Michael Cole leans over, I gotta get me one of those! You fucking dead. So, also, the Intercontinental Championship is irrelevant, so I'm hoping that something happens with that soon before I absolutely go on a murderous rampage.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that if the WWE comes to Boston, I'm gonna hop the guardrail with like WWE forgot the IC or free the IC belt or something like that.
How would you feel if they unified the US and IC titles with the world title, and we only had the tag team titles, the world title, and the Divas title?
All right, but how do you unify? Are they going to call it something different then?
Just call it
the WWE World Heavyweight United States Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
I like that a lot.
But I think they should just send the United States belt down to NXT.
That's a good idea, too.
And then just get rid of the world title altogether. I'm done with that. Sell it to ROH. No, mention that. You guys want this thing? $100,000. WWE honored the Ultimate Warrior all night tonight on the network, so that was kind of interesting. But what do we complain? What do we complain about now? I mean, in wrestling, I mean, what do we do? I mean, Paige.
Here's a complaint, real quick, based off what you just said. I got that text from WWE today saying they'd be honoring the network all night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I was like, great. 8 p.m. Eastern. I put on the network, and apparently they said they were running like clips of his Hall of Fame speech. I didn't see any of that. All I saw was WrestleMania 6, and they were playing it in its entirety. Yeah. So I kept walking out of the room and coming back in, and it just so happened that every time I came back in the room, who did I see? Fucking Coco Beware. Yeah. So they're like, oh, we're going to honor the Warrior all night tonight, and all I saw was fucking Coco Beware for 2 hours.
I kept seeing Bad News Brown versus Roddy Piper. That's what I kept coming in on. Yeah.
Great tribute, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, good tribute, dickheads. Guys, we're going to talk about Sting. We're going to talk about Sting. We're going to talk about Ultimate Warrior, but we're going to talk about some other stuff like Batista, Randy Orton, and all that crap. We're going to get into everything right after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. What's up, guys?
Are you allowed to sell that?
Yes.
Really?
Sell what?
In America?
No.
Sell what?
What the commercial was just for. That's crazy.
Oh, I mean...
How do you get the money for that?
Well, you can sell that, right? I mean,
I don't know,
I gotta say, the people in the video, I wanted to fuck every single one of them.
Yeah, you're going to get some complaints about that one, I'm sure. I mean, that's... Oof. It's a rough one.
I'd buy it. I would have clicked on it.
I tell you, that's pretty rough.
I would have clicked on it. I'd buy that for $1. It was funny when Jim Ross was like front row for the Hall of Fame the other night too, and it's like, you're not here anymore, but here you go.
It would have been great to hear him call Undertaker's match.
Oh yeah. It would have been great. It would have been great. Anything would have been great compared to what we got, because the announcers were so damn quiet, even though the match was quiet. You know, the whole thing was a bore anyway. So I don't know, man. Brock Lesnar. Everyone's still pissed off about Lesnar taking that spot from the Undertaker. I mean,
with that being said, on air, Chris, do you want to have that dispute again live so we can have the people decide for us?
What dispute? Go for it.
All right. So my argument is that obviously they shouldn't have given it to Brock Lesnar, but Chris has always been saying to the people who say that the person who name the person who should of beating the streak. Now, I personally think myself that he should have retired with it in the first place, because either way, he's still going to get that Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels goodbye, when he enters the Hall of Fame anyway. And he even got it at WrestleMania, he just didn't respond to it. But if there was somebody to beat the streak, I think it should have been Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt can tell a story and the streak really well. He wouldn't leave the WWE anytime soon, and it would really make him over, which WWE I think is trying to do with him right now, because people love him. It would have been a better match than Taker versus Lesnar, and it would have the same shock value. And I don't think anybody would have minded it if Bray Wyatt beat the streak. They still would have the same shock, but it would have been a better shock.
I'll give you this. It would have been a better match. And you know what? It would have even been a better match than Roman Reigns versus Undertaker. Because Bray Wyatt's style in the ring doesn't require too much selling on his opponent's part. It's more just him making moves look really brutal. And he does wrestle that slow-paced style. Watching Lesnar having to slow down after Undertaker got the concussion was really apparent, because Lesnar is a high-energy, fast-paced, crazy motherfucker. Bray Wyatt's more slow, methodical, creepy, tells a story in the ring, and you're right, would have been a great match. But, that being said, to have him be the one to beat the streak, the theme of the night was legacy. I mean, not just the John Cena match, and granted, yeah, that was the song used for his promos leading up to that match, but everyone else involved too. The Shield's legacy is the current, that's the present in wrestling right now. The Shield running wild, and what do? They got a squash match to add to their legacy. And then John Cena defended his legacy. Then we have Triple H trying to prove that his legacy was greater than everyone else's by trying to book himself in the main event. Daniel Bryan put a stop to that because he's the future of wrestling. It's his legacy that he's just starting today, or was starting on Sunday. Then, Bray Wyatt beating The Undertaker, he doesn't have the legacy behind him. Brock Lesnar has a legacy behind him. Before Randy Orton, he was the youngest champion. He had the UFC title for a little bit. He has all these classic matches with Kurt Angle. He was already built up, and part of the shock came from, yes, Undertaker's legacy was 21-0, and it was going to be 22-0, but then we get this, turn where Undertaker loses his legacy, but he needs to lose it to someone who already has one. You can argue all day that Bray Wyatt's going to be there for years to come, and that's probably true, but we don't know yet, and he hadn't been. So
Brock Lesnar's legacy would have been fine without the streak. Don't you think so?
So would have Bray Wyatt's.
I'm sorry?
So would have Bray Wyatt's. He's up and coming right now. I don't think he needs the streak. Look how over he was on Raw. If anything, that would have killed how over he was, in my opinion. People would have bitched about him way more than Lesnar, I guarantee it.
But
this new guy, what did he ever do for the company? What has he proven? What has he sacrificed?
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe they figured, he can take Brock can take a bullet and play that part, but we were afraid of what happened to Bray Wyatt if that happened there. You know what I mean?
Plus, if they ever want to turn Bray Wyatt face, then that ruins it. He will never be able to overcome that. Brock Lesnar is not interested in ever being a face for his entire career, and he's near the end of his career, so there's not much room for him to do it anyway. The sky's the limit for Bray Wyatt. The world is open to him right now. He can go any direction over the next couple of years. So why ruin that and immediately pigeonhole him as the guy who beat the streak, so I'm forever going to hate him. Plus, not only that, like I said about other new people getting the streak, it kind of fucks with your career. Because where do you go from there? If you lose another match, the first time you lose a match, all of a sudden people are going to be like, that's bullshit. If that guy could beat him, then how did he beat the streak? And if not, what are you going to do? Go on a winning streak and win every match after that like Goldberg? That looks stupid too. So it kind of puts you in an awkward position where right after, yeah, it's kind of cool for your career. But then after that, where do you go? Lesnar doesn't really have anywhere else to go aside from beating people up. So that was safe.
Now, if you think about the Shield, by the way, the Shield is kind of interesting because they won their match at WrestleMania 2 years ago. At WrestleMania 29, they had a tag match. They won it, and then this year they won it even quicker. They're really destroying people at WrestleMania. You wonder, what's next? How long do you think this babyface run can go for? It's amazing that they turned him this way. I think this is something that's going to last now another, half a year to a year. With them?
What if Roman Reigns overlaps the Undertaker streak? It's never gonna happen. But hey, he's 2-0.
That's a good point. Any member of the Shield right now could be the next one to have a WrestleMania streak.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Enough.
Yeah, somebody on the comments said, what did he say? Where is he? Oh, I just lost it now. Oh yeah, Female Observer on YouTube said, "Stupid uploader, so many boring wannabes." And I said, "I want to be inside your mom." Well, technically I said, "I want to be inside you, mom." That's what I said. So there's a comeback fail on my part of it. Anyway, why is the camera above his head? The fuck? People are so angry. It's funny. And I'm gonna kill them all. Guys, thanks for watching. It's youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show here with Chris Tosevich and Jared from Small Afro Games.
Oh, Jared.
You call him Jared?
JARren, I'm sorry. Oh my God, JARren from Small Afro Games. I knew a guy named Jared. Maybe that's why I said that.
Yeah, that's the Subway guy, you prick.
No, my friend Jared was a little white kid with red hair, so that doesn't make sense.
Great runner.
Yeah. The poor little prick. No drive though, the little bitch. No, I love him, seriously. I would have had him if I could have had the chance. So what else do we got? So the Shield, we talked about the Shield. I'm talking about your mother. No, WWE Extreme Rules should be interesting. But do you think that Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan is like inevitable again in the main event for the title though?
No. I see Bray Wyatt going
Extreme
for...
Rules?
No, not at Extreme Rules, but
okay.
Coming up, maybe like SummerSlam or something.
No,
Sure,
but I
I
see
can
Bray
see that.
Wyatt more of like a he's not really that main guy. I see him having like an Intercontinental Championship, run for like a long time.
And
Then again, he doesn't seem to care about winning. I mean, that's not his thing. That's why John Cena was so afraid of him, because his mission that night, it was very apparent. I mean, yeah, he wanted to beat up John Cena, but he wanted John Cena to turn heel or be a bad guy. He didn't really care if he lost the match. So I can't really see him caring about winning the world title.
No, I mean, I know what you're saying, but you don't think that Bray Wyatt fought Daniel Bryan in that really good match at, what was it?
Oh, it'd be a great match.
Rumble,
yeah, definitely.
at the Royal Rumble. I mean, I don't know. I expected them to go that way. I feel like they've already skipped Bray Wyatt over the Intercontinental belt. I mean, dude, even the guy who's carrying the belt isn't even... I mean, that belt is so far down. That belt's almost like an NXT belt, or less. It's stupid.
I want to know what's going to happen. Actually, now you say NXT, I'm going to say something after. But whatchamacallit? I just lost what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Bray Wyatt's going to have to eventually lose Harper and Rowan, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean...
I hope not for Rowan's sake.
Yeah, what's he going to do? You know what Rowan be doing? He'd be digging the hole for the Undertaker. And they bring him out here, and then they'll be like, all right, now go home. And good luck in your future endeavors of being a creepy bastard working at McDonald's.
No, isn't Paige the NXT champion still, as well as the Divas champion?
Yeah, I don't remember her losing it. I don't remember her losing it.
So what the hell is gonna happen?
She's probably gonna vacate it on NXT, and they'll have a tournament or something like that. If they even have enough women.
I don't need this anymore. And she just throws it on the fucking ground.
I would love to see at Extreme
I don't need
Rules
this anymore.
AJ Lee versus Paige in a ladder match.
Oh,
I love when AJ called her a crumpet.
Yeah, I love if they did have a ladder match. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. You should give her the Paige turner off the ladder, and she could hit the back of her head on the ladder.
I'm kind of nervous about seeing a Divas ladder match because we never have, and the first one would take a lot of work to look good,
I would love to see a Divas ladder match.
You think it would be good though, or are you just hoping it would be good?
I think it would be good with maybe. I don't know about AJ. Like I don't know. Maybe if the
AJ's a good mat wrestler, but on a ladder it would look kind of unbelievable. You could just pick up the whole ladder with her on it and throw it outside the ring.
I can tell you who would have a good ladder match. It would be Gail Kim and somebody else. They would have a good ladders match. Wait a minute, didn't they? No, that wasn't a ladder match, was it? I'm trying to think of what their match was at Slammiversary. It was epic.
It was just a regular match.
It was so good. Oh my god. Why can't that happen in the WWE? I'm still talking about it now. That was such a good match. If you have not seen Slammiversary 2013, hey, you need to watch that pay-per-view, because not only was that match good, the whole damn pay-per-view was good.
Every Slammiversary really knocks it out of the park, and that's coming from someone who really pretty much hates TNA.
And but the women's match, I mean, it just I want to cream my pants. It's so freaking good. The best pay-per-views of the year for me, I think, have got to be WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and then in Slammiversary. Those 3 pay-per-views I won't forget.
What about Battlegrounds?
Slammiversary is like
Battlegrounds?
Slammiversary is like WrestleMania for TNA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. It was just a really good pay-per-view. I mean, even the main event was the worst thing with Sting and Bully Ray, but it was still good. Actually, it was still good. It reminded me of like a main event on Raw, but back in the Attitude Era. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a pay-per-view main event, but it was an Attitude Era Raw main event. So
which is pretty good.
Yeah, which was pretty good. So the whole thing was damn good. I don't know. What else we got? I feel like this sucks. I don't know what to say. Undertaker lost. Ultimate Warrior's dead. Brock Lesnar's on crack. Paul Heyman. That I can't even think about recreating that promo that he cut the other night. I can't even come close.
He is a god on the mic. It's just incredible how he is on the mic, and he gets better every single time.
You know what? Let's do some questions. I got some questions here, and we can answer. We can talk about them. We can answer these. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's the first one. Let's not read that. That's porno. Joe, I was looking. This is from Jason Webb. Joe, I was looking for a person to review WrestleMania 30, and I found you on Facebook. I'm so totally entertained and informed about all the opinions, except for the ones today, that you post on your talk show. What do you suggest for a new listener as it relates to calling in? As I listened to the review for 4-7 Raw review, I want to call so bad, but realize the show is from yesterday. I don't know, call at the same time that we're live, I guess. You're in on our time, so we're live when we're supposed to be, right after Raw. I know that the Undertaker thing is overdone, but my question is not why, but why didn't the Undertaker give us a fist in the air at least? I think the Undertaker
that's his victory pose.
Well, not only that, but he has done it. I feel like he's lost before and done it. But
yeah, maybe.
I think it's because he stood there like he was going to do it, and everybody noticed that. But then he just continued to walk, and I think he was telling us something with that. You know what I mean? Go watch it.
Like his last match, not just I lost at WrestleMania, but this was my last match type of thing.
Yeah, because he got to this door, and then he stopped like he's supposed to, and then you expect the hand to go up, and it didn't, and he just kept walking.
Which could have hinted at that he's disappointed in himself. Because even when he's lost before, not at Mania, but if he has lost a regular match and walked away and put his fist in the air, that's him saying like, "Well, whatever. I'm still the badass. I'm still the Undertaker." But now it's kind of like I failed you guys. Sorry, I don't even deserve my fist up.
Remember One Night Stand, that TLC match when Taker lost and like he got like fired.
Oh yeah, wow. Yeah. Barely remember that. I barely remember that. Literally barely remember that. WWE doesn't only need to take notes from TNA divas, but pacing from Ring of Honor participants. That's a great point. I don't know why they can't do it, but WWE is their own style, and sometimes it really sucks. Sometimes it's good.
Then again, their pacing is supposed to apply to or appeal to every type of audience. And granted, yes, it's going to lack for hardcore mat wrestling fans, and it's going to be not even that great for people who just want to see John Cena's style of wrestling. I mean, they're not giving everyone exactly what they want, but they're giving everyone something that they can at least enjoy. Ring of Honor works great if you're a big mat wrestling fan or just a technical wrestling fan in general, yet it's not really that great for kids. It's not really that great for old school fans who used to watch in the 80s. You know, like you kind of have to give up some of the good parts just so you can make it solid for everyone.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'll make it solid for you.
Like, give me a solid right on my chest.
Oh, yeah. Next pay-per-view, Bryan vs. Triple H, Hell in a Cell. I never want to see the Hell in the Cell ever again because it's worthless.
Fuck it.
Unless it's the Attitude Era. Just throw that thing. Just get rid of that.
It has an open door policy. Anyone can walk in or walk out whenever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the match any more violent. If you want a violent match that takes place in a cage where you're at least most of the time not going to see any extra people involved, then look at Elimination Chamber. That's the new Hell in a Cell. Elimination Chamber is just a poor man. I mean, Hell in a Cell is just a poor man's Elimination Chamber at this point, and it has even more of an open door policy. So it's just a gimmick. It's just a lame gimmick. Go ahead.
Bring back the Punjabi prison match.
Oh my god, that sucked.
I don't even like that. I don't even know what that is. I never saw one because I wasn't watching.
It's a Hell in a Cell with like bamboo sticks in between the cage and the rest of the cell.
The rules are there's two chambers of bamboo, right?
Oh, I
the
think
first
I did see
one
that.
you get to open a door for 60 seconds, but and there's 4 doors. And after you open all those doors, you can't open it again. So once all 4 doors open and close, you can't open that ever again. So you gotta climb over if you fail to get out of there.
That sucks.
Then you actually gotta climb over the other one.
I didn't.
I'd rather see a dog kennel match.
I wasn't watching wrestling at that time. Actually, I took about 2 years off, and thank God I did. I hated that whole time. I stopped watching
Great
wrestling.
Khali's supposed to be in it because it was built after him or after his gimmick, and then he got injured and couldn't even be in the goddamn match.
Is that what happened?
I think so.
That's ridiculous.
So it was a Punjabi prison match, but he wasn't even in it.
No, that was there was actually 2. He was in the second one with Batista, but the first one it was Big Show versus Undertaker at the Great American Bash 2006.
He says
prison match at the Great American Bash.
Ridiculous. Jason Webb says, when the time is I need to call your show to get in the action. Really interested in all the things going on, want my voice heard. Thanks for the channel. Hail Billy J from good old North Carolina. Dude, you give a call up at 339-226-6610 live after Monday Night Raw, and we'll get you on. How about that?
We'll get you off, too.
We'll get you off. I might get you off. All right. Stan Mason says, what the hell are they going to do with RVD now? I think they're going to continue with what they were doing with him before, which is he puts people over. Yeah, clearly.
I'd like to see him have a solid run, but it's not going to happen.
No, they set him up by beating Sandow to be like, wow, this guy's awesome, he's back, and now he's going to job to people on pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So get ready.
Look good doing it, so.
Yeah, get ready for jobber time. He may get a big win at a pay-per-view, though, because they need to build him up after being beaten down, and then he leaves. See, he came in, sacrificed himself. It was like he kamikazed, but then went away and gets to come back and pretend like it didn't happen.
Either way, he's so good. I don't care if he wins or loses. His matches are always going to be awesome.
I just want to see his matches. It's never been about even winning with him for really. Everything with him. If he loses, he loses, but it's the match. So he
hit his peak when he won, one of his many peaks when he won the world title at One Night Stand, which was awesome. So, I mean, what more do you want from the guy? That was his moment. We don't need him doing that all over again. Just have him put other people over and fucking look phenomenal in the meantime.
Stan also says, what do you got, Jaren?
I was going to say, people were expecting Y2J at Raw as well, because there was a big Y2J chant, and people were having Y2J signs.
If Jericho comes back, it's going to be a build-up. Again. Yeah. I think that's what, you know what I mean? There's going to be another...
Hey, wait a minute. Speaking of which, 2 part-timers, why not have Jericho and RVD in a program, and then when they finish it, they can both take some more time off?
That would be really cool to see them in a match again.
The feud would even be good, just finding out what the fuck RVD could dig up about Jericho and vice versa. Jericho could make fun of him for being a pothead. RVD could make fun of Jericho for pretty much anything.
Yeah.
It would still be funny, so...
Stan also says, do you think the WWE will integrate a cruiser weight division? I don't think so. I don't think they will, to be honest.
I've been saying this for a while. They should drop the U.S. title and bring back the cruiserweight. And my reasoning was the U.S. title is just kind of like the bottom rung of a ladder. You win that, and then you try to get more and climb higher, get the IC belt, and then eventually be the world champion. But the problem with that is it makes the title itself just look like a stepping stone. Back when there was a cruiserweight division in WCW, you had all these cruiserweights who accepted the fact that they were never going to be heavyweight champion. They were never going to be in the ring with like fucking people like Goldberg or whatever. So instead, their main focus was, I just want to be the cruiserweight champion. I'm like 200 pounds. I don't give a shit about that whole other scene. I don't give a shit about the main event. I want to be known as the best cruiserweight in the division, and that's all I care about. And it made the title look really valuable.
Yeah.
And it made the whole division have something to strive for instead of just striving for a stepping stone, which is what the US and IC belts are now.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, and I agree, but I also think that it's not just a stepping stone, it's a dead zone. The United States title is a dead zone. It's just nothing's going on. Even the Intercontinental belt, if there's nobody vying for it, it's complete dead. There's no need for it. They should
have a cruiserweight division just like the Divas division, where it's self-contained and it's different from the rest of the roster. And if you're in the cruiserweight division, you only wrestle other cruiserweights, just like the Divas, except it's small guys. And it would fucking be awesome. And you'd have these guys showing their talent. And like, imagine the cool thing about the cruiserweight division is you got to see little guys giving power bombs all the time and doing power moves because they were all wrestling people their size instead of wrestling people like Ryback who would just squash them, who they can get no offense off against.
Yeah,
they're not able to shine right now.
I forgot to do this live. We were supposed to do this live.
Yeah, it's all good.
I'm gonna play it live is what I'll do. All right, what are your thoughts on Cesaro being a Paul Heyman guy? He says, I think it's awesome, but it's confusing a little bit because he's everybody loves Cesaro, but Paul Heyman's there, and then everybody hates Brock, but Paul Heyman's there. Kind of interesting.
I think that's part of them trying to break down the walls a little further between faces and heels and just saying, hey, cheer who you want to cheer for. Yeah. I'm hoping that's where they're going.
That's a great idea, and they can figure it out as it goes.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a great idea.
No more good guys and bad guys. That's what you keep on asking for, and that's what you really want. That's what we all want, and this might be a hint towards that.
Yeah, not a bad idea. And I mean, that's what the fans are doing anyway. Maybe you're right. They just figure, F it. Everyone will just be who they are, or be whatever they can be, and the fans will let the fans sort it out.
Yeah.
Kevin Mathers commented, said, just curious. You think people are going to listen to your opinions for 4 or 5 hours straight? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Judging on the fact that they did.
Yeah.
You fucking
idiot.
We
had 500 constant listeners and climbing when we finally had to get off the air, and there were more people piling into the room. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, maybe you're not going to listen. Maybe you're going to go back upstairs to the bathroom and open up the little medicine cabinet and pull out the Ken doll that has the little hole in it, so when you jerk off, the semen runs through the Ken doll in some kind of weird-ass sex ritual that you have. Some weird fetish that you got going on.
And then your mom's like, why are you boiling dolls on the stove? And you're like, the cum clogged the hole, and I can't get it out.
Oh, man. Anyway, they did. I wouldn't blame if they didn't listen to this one, though. They were like, all right, well. But that's what happens. I wish I could have found that guy's comment and been able to reply to it quicker, because I love guys like that. Oh man, I love it. Bring the heat, you homo. I love all you guys. I love all our listeners. I will have relations with everybody. But no, thanks for being here, guys. This is State of the WWE, episode number 22. We'll see what happens. I don't know what else is going to go on. All I know is the Biggie needs to defend the Intercontinental title. Vince McMahon needs to show his face, even though I know he doesn't want to. They want to push the whole Triple H is in charge. And Paige is the Divas champion, and that's kind of cool. I'm glad that AJ didn't lose at WrestleMania, but she lost on Raw. That was cool. And rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. And rest in peace to this poor black man in the front row at WrestleMania 30 who looks like his face may be frozen like that forever. You guys got anything else to add?
I once again, like that listener said, cruiserweight division would be awesome. I'm not gonna hold my breath for it, but that would be great.
Alrighty then. So long and goodbye. And try not to